now, this had killed the market for, of course. So now this had killed the market for, of course.
I'm ready.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, watching me here on Blackwood Fire Network. My name is INNOSSETU, and of course, broadcasting live from Kampala, Uganda. Yeah, today is a Wednesday. Yeah, it is raining. That's why you see me with this, of course, jacket. It is raining outside, and of course, I've been having rain since noon, even up to now. It's still raining outside. But well, if you're watching me from YouTube, and that is Blackwood Fire Network too, please, if you're watching me for the first time, I'm kindly calling you upon to support our shows by subscribing. And if at all you subscribe in, like I already said, there is that added advantage for you. Whenever we are having shows here, you will be notified on your phone, on your laptop. You will be notified. If you're watching me from Twitter, do the same. Endeavor to like and follow our Twitter page, and that is Blackwood Fire Network One. Yeah. Today being a Wednesday, we have actually our topic is going to be dangers of foreign aid to Africa. We all know foreign aid. We all know foreign aid. Actually, we have, like, when I talk about foreign aid, actually what comes into people's mind, it is Africa, because Africa, worldwide, Africa is known for begging. It's known for doing this. African governments are known for begging. So it is not a surprise. Like when we talk about foreign aid, what comes in people's mind, it is begging, it is depending. Actually, in simple terms, foreign aid, it can be a dependence or depending on another country for political, economic, and other issues. So Africa, for a long time, Africa actually, since the end of since actually Africa, of course, attained the independence, Africa has never attained Africa has never attained real independence. We see Africa depending on other countries for a lot of things, because foreign aid in Africa, it comes into different forms. It comes into loans, it comes into infrastructure loans, it comes into donations, it comes into a lot of things, drugs. Foreign aid, actually, it is a wider thing. It comes into a lot of things in Africa, like infrastructure, loans, hard cash, sometime hard cash. It comes into drugs, like the vaccination drugs. Like, for example, today they said actually they donated over 50, over actually it's 500,000 dozens of pox antivirus to Africa. So that is how these people donate. This is actually even some food, some extent, World Food Program, and other aids, even military aid. We have seen UN doing, actually, let me call them unsuccessful missions in different African countries. Unsuccessful missions that have been unsuccessful. That is also aid. So aid, uh, actually, Africa has been dependent on other countries into, actually, in different forms, like I've said, in different forms. So um, this actually has brought this has brought a negative impact on the African continent, whether you like it or not. Yeah, you know, sometimes white, there is a dog outside here, right? So sometimes whites, they talk actually a lot of things and do their, they talk about loans, elevating people's actually elevating people, chasing people out from poverty, and they do the other things and they do the contrary. That is how that is that is how whites do their things. They speak about loans. When it comes into someone's mind, foreign aid, it is something that is appetizing in the ears, but the goals that are behind all of this, at times they become, actually, they make Africans actually stay poor. They make Africans to depend on these countries for good. And this independence, it is the reason why Africa is still actually looked as, all African countries are still looked as low developed countries. It's because every time African governments think of loans, anytime we see these whites coming into Africa, we think about them helping Africans. Yet we have resources here that can elevate our standards. So this is also actually a kind of a mind control. It is also a mindset that is coming, actually, that is in people's minds in Africa. That's why they end up actually giving up to these people, because we think everything, it has to be aided. We have to get aid from outside Africa. Every time we can't critically think and create something new for our own, because we think that we are going to get help from somewhere. We are going to get technology that is going to refine our minerals. We are going to get weapons that are going to fight our wars. We are going to get loans so that our people can get away from poverty. We are going to get uh, um, fertilizers so that our people can do planting. So every time we have that mindset of thinking about aid from Africa, from other countries, because people will tell you, like, USA, whenever we have catastrophes here, the first thing, like, the international community has not thought about Africa. USA, you said, UN has not done any effort towards Africa. Even some African leaders, they will tell you, like, yes, we are experiencing a war in Congo, but UN has done nothing. Why is it that for we can't depend on ourselves? Why is it that we can't do something for our good, for ourselves? Because we think, our mind thinks that there is someone behind that must be in control of everything that we do here in Africa. So globally, Africa is the biggest foreign recipient. Every year, billions of dollars are sent in, of course, as foreign aid and developmental assistance to Africa with the aim to elevate hunger, poverty. This is what they say, and they do contrary. Foster economic development, democratic governance, and rule of law without jeopardizing the peace of these countries. But in the contrary, for a long time, for over 100 years, Africa has been getting aid from these countries, but African countries, they are still the same. African countries, they're just becoming more worse than they were because of this aid that we are getting every time. Because actually, these loans, at the times, this aid, it comes with a lot of conditions. Aid that is sent to Africa, it comes with actually the conditions that come with the foreign aid that we get here in Africa. Actually, they are more they are more than the aid that is given to Africa. Because I've seen countries like Sudan where actually the World Health Organization, let me say that, the IMF and the World Bank, where has actually where they have tried to actually to give these countries foreign aid, but in reality there is a behind exchange. You have to sign somewhere of how you must rule your country, of how your resources must be exploited, of how your people must behave in a country. So, unfortunately, little no improvements have been made in terms of social, economic, and political development in the areas of the rule of law and, of course, the democratic governance, as Africa remains the poorest continent in the world according to gross, of course, national economic and human development index. So, for we have seen a lot of NGOs donating stuffs to people, but behind they have goals. We see that several countries in the world today participate in the process of foreign aid either as donors, recipients, or both donors and recipients. So the impact of foreign aid in the donor and of course recipient countries is largely unsettled. It is this of course it is because of actually various arguments and for against these benefits of foreign aid. Many of course people, actually we have seen that foreign aid is of course synonymous to economic growth to some extent, because it completes the supplements of national resources stuff, but it has just groomed corrupt leaders in Africa. Because every time foreign aid flows here in Africa, there are people who are ready to take this aid. There are individuals whose eyes are opening to take this uh, of course, this foreign aid. The government officials out there that are their eyes are widely open to take this, of course, this foreign aid that comes from outside, because we have seen so much corruption in African countries done on this so-called foreign aid. We have seen a lot of treaties, a lot of agreements being signed behind the curtains with the IMF, with the World Bank, to African governments, into actually few individuals in African governments. They have got this money, they have ate this money, they have developed. They have created foreign accounts in foreign countries because of the so-called aid that is sent here to Africa. So at the times it is confusing. At the times it becomes confusing to understand how these things actually run, and how actually where do actually African people like get benefits out of this. If at all the aid, actually, we see that foreign aid started in the 1947. This was immediately after the Second World War in 1945, with the institution of the Marshall Plan to Africa. After the Second World War, which was from 1939 to 1945, which began actually what began as an initiative with economic and political interests by the United States of America, provide economic assistance in rebuilding Europe after the Second World War, turned into economic and political development interests as well as the humanitarian cause. However, we see that the idea of foreign aid was formed on the notion that it is dangerous for low-income countries to develop economically without the help from the developed countries. But in reality, foreign aid is depending on developed countries. So this is likely the reason why actually we see that the white burden in Africa is so much seen in the foreign aid, as we see that the West is self-pleasing fantasy of actually of hiding in aid in Africa. It is really because some of these loans that are given to Africa, they have huge interest. That's why at a times many African countries they fail to pay these of course they fail to pay these of course loans that they get from the IMF and the World Bank. African countries they end up paying to pay because of the actually because of the interest rates that are attached with these of course foreign aids. So foreign aid, of course, has made a lot of African countries dependent. Several African countries are unable to carry out any fundamental functions such as institution of newly established structures, the maintenance of basic systems and services, or provision of necessary public services and infrastructures without foreign aid administered in form of projects or technical assistance. Half of African countries' annual budget commitments go to unfulfilled because of donor countries have enabled a cause accommodation with the dependence. Even though all aid dependent our countries in Africa are low-income countries. Some low-income countries are not as dependent on aid as others, indicating that aid dependence is not a result of poverty, as many believe in Africa. However, high levels of dependence on foreign aid by most African countries has led to a lot of antagonism against foreign aid. These antagonists contend that foreign aid, whether it is in the form of conditional loans or official development assistance, is supposed to be mainly beneficial to the recipient countries. But oftentimes, foreign aid has done more harm than good despite the donors' good intentions. This is because foreign aid is often misused by the bureaucratic and corrupt governments, like I said at first. The governments receive aid as much financial assistance as governments with the lower levels of corruption. So this should not be the case of foreign aid. It should be used as a tool of actually to threaten or halt undemocratic and corrupt regimes and reward those who show improvements and goodwill in improving governance and rule of law. But in reality, we have seen foreign aid has been so much given to the corrupt and of course undemocratic countries. Yet at times, foreign aid it comes with conditions like we want rule of law, we want democratic governance in your country, we want you to actually to give people rights, to give people like all people to share equal rights in the country. But in the reality, some of this, like I said, the whites speak about different issues, and they do actually different issues, because I guess they see uh, uh, they see actually the governments of which they give this aid. They know what actually, they know which people to deal with when they're giving these aids. Um, when we see actually, let me talk about these countries that have been so much dependent, that looked as to be so much dependent on foreign aid in Africa. That is, for example, Botswana and Somalia. When we see Somalia is one of the foremost recipients of foreign aid in the world, with over 55 billion USD received from 1991 till date. So, and paradoxically, remains one of the poorest countries in the world. So, this is this is something that is unbelievable. A country that depends so much on foreign aid and is among the poorest countries in the world. So Somalia has always been dependent on foreign aid since its independence in the 1960s. So foreign aid has brought problems to Somalia, such as violent rivalry for control over large-scale food aid, which is partly responsible for the government's collapse in Somalia. So foreign aid in Somalia has also fueled corruption and anticipated Somalia's economy. In 2011 only, the country, uh, 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 mm, the Public Management Unit disclosed that approximately 30 million USD in the government funds, as well as the 70 million from the Arab donors, had gone uncounted for from Somalia's treasury. In addition, the United Nations Group on Somalia and Eritrea reported that 70% of the foreign aid allocated for development between 2009 and 2010 had been embezzled. Who embezzled this money? These are the people that deal with these donors. So, SMG also disclosed that 80% of the foreign funds transferred to the Central Bank of Somalia were taken out for personal use. So these incidents, amongst others, drove Somalia to be the most corrupt nation, according to the Corruption Perception Index from 2014 up to date, till date, with Somalia ranking 108 out of the 180 countries in the world that was surveyed in 2024. So the government of Somalia has taken advantage of the situation, of the their situation, to misuse foreign aid for personal gain rather than putting it towards bettering the conditions of the populace. So institutions and strengthening its rule of law. So corruption aside, there are issues of political instability that continue to occur in Somalia for the last, of course, 25 years. Somalia has had 9 official presidents, 18 official prime ministers, and of course, regular change in government officials, all struggling for a piece of a foreign cake. So these constant changes in the government have led to various economic policies that do not align with the donors' priorities, and their exits a lack of a competence and strategic initiatives to carry out the said economic policies by the successive governments. So the political instability in Somalia has also caused gross unaccountability for the funds received. This is an example of how foreign aid is usurped by the corrupt ruling and political elites, as the majority of the foreign funds are constantly squandered by the corrupt leaders, and of course, do not reach the intended beneficiaries. Unfortunately, foreign aid countries to be sent to Somalia every year, thereby encouraging the corrupt initiatives and practices of Somalian leaders. But now, so foreign aid, when in the hands of the right people, I guess, let me say that, uh, supported by strong institutions, can enable government to strengthen the democratic and rule of law institutions in the countries. Turning to Botswana's foreign aid has played to countries. When we look at actually foreign aid in Botswana, it has also had issues over time, but this has escalated into much of the problems that we see uh, uh, here. Much of the problem we see. So there are other negative impacts that we see, of course, that are of course coming out from foreign aid. We see here, we see some more dangers of foreign aid to Africa. Um, we can see them actually. Foreign aid, of course, as like I said, that the continuous foreign aid, of course, has created a dependence in African countries to continuously depend on, of course, these foreign countries, always all the Bazungu countries. So, so this, of course, dependence has created a dependence syndrome where recipient countries rely heavily on aid instead of developing their own sustainability, economic policies, and institutions. Um, like when we look at actually most of the African countries, uh, when we look at most, even Uganda inclusive, these are countries that don't have that confidence to develop institutions by their own. We seek actually to see you said doing something for we and when we see countries actually withdrawing from African countries, at times it becomes a blow for African countries due to that due to that history, due to that like to that legacy that is within our mind to, of course, depend on these countries. So, uh, foreign aid, of course, foreign aid programs in Africa have not, of course, guaranteed successful policies. We see that we see that overlooking the fact that, of course, the political conflicts, the rampant corruption, and of course, perpetuation of poverty uh, has, of course, been for a long time one of actually the causes of dependence on these countries. The other issue is, of course, corruption. Aid funds can be, of course, misused or siphoned off by corrupt officials, leading to lack of accountability and transparency. So the misuse of funds can hinder development and, of course, perpetuate poverty among the people. So the distorted priorities. Foreign aid can sometimes also lead to the implementation of projects that are not aligned with the actual needs and priorities of the local population. So this misalignment can result in insufficient use of resources. There is also economic distortion, where large inflows of foreign aid can distort local economies, leading to inflation and overvalued currency, which can harm the local industries and reduce our competitiveness. Political instability is also linked to foreign aid, as we see that aid sometimes exacerbate political instability by fueling conflicts over control of resources, or by supporting regimes that do not have best interests of their citizens at heart. We have seen also the erosion of civic initiatives, where over-reliance on aid has undermined local initiatives and underdevelopment of robust civil society, as people may become less motivated to engage in community-driven development. So, yogerako bakooli.
Naye baba. First of all, I usually say that aid in Africa is never aid, because there is no Mzungu here, or there is no one here who is here for Africa's interest. The majority, let me give an example. We have seen a lot of organizations in Africa claiming that they are bringing aid, but usually the aid that is brought down here has motives behind it. We have seen organizations that claim that they are promoting the youth, and of course youth empowerment, and within this very organization that are promoting youth empowerment, the biggest deal is to pass the actions of LGBTQ in Africa. And you realize that those who are at the top of these organizations actually are the ones that are benefiting from these organizations, because there is always some hidden agenda. So the majorities of the people behind these things are people who don't even know why these things are in place. And other aids that most of the aid that we've also seen has been, of course, demanded or asked or begged. Let me use that word, by the government, where we see scenarios, of course, of certain umbrellas, organizations in which some governments are under, and these organizations, you find that they are built to support some, incidences. Let me say hazards, uh, famine, drought, and stuff like that. I'm going to give an example of recently where apparently some I think 2 or a year ago, INNOSSETU, you can remind me that incident of the locusts in Uganda. Bawalabako locusts.
It was during COVID time, I think,
After COVID, actually. The COVID
about
yakavao
2021.
had issues,
Mm.
then all over the whole news, that there are locusts in Uganda and all that. And then we had organizations that claimed that they are sending aid, because locusts had eaten plants and all that. You know what locusts do in farms and all that. So they sent aid, in form of money to help. Oh, it's raining. To help those people, the people in need. But the actual sense was, we did not have any locusts. They said locusts were in Karamoja and stuff. And there are still some uh there are people who claim that they gained a lot of money through these things. Remember, in Tanzania, there is a place where a lot, Samantha, come and close this window. there is a place where a lot of locusts are gathered, I think for study purposes. And then we saw, of course, some other people from Uganda coming with the locusts in um, in bottles and stuff like that. And then they had some locusts being poured somewhere else to show, and others they were using some old images, but we did not see really the existence of locusts here, but it was very rampant. Like apparently, everyone outside Uganda knew that Uganda was struck by locusts. But of course, Uganda received aid through that. And when COVID 19 struck, of course, a lot of leaders were forced to agree that we have COVID 19 because it came with a package in form of aid. And and a lot of people agreed, a lot of leaders, of course, had to come in terms with the World Health Organization and start even burying empty coffins on screens, on cameras. um, but this whole game, we knew who were to benefit from these whole things. And unfortunately, um, Africans don't understand what comes along. There is no way you're going to receive aid that Mzungu is giving you aid. I usually tell you guys, we have USAID, an organization that is known to support the education system, the education that has totally failed 100%. We have a German aid from German that even I don't know what that aid does. But I've come to learn of recent that it or usually concentrates a lot on educating people about the German language and all that. So is that aid for you to be educating people about your language? That they are paying tutors, giving a free scholarship and all that stuff. Is that really aid? All right. I think there are a lot of things that actually we look at and praise and appreciate, but at the end of the day, we are selling our souls to the wrong people, or we are appreciating the wrong people. The dangers of aid in Africa are visible because apparently this is the reason why we are handicapped. Aid is the reason why Africa is sleeping. Aid is the reason why African leaders don't want to stand up and be audible enough. Aid is apparently the reason why a lot of African leaders have to give in to the plans that are even fake, like the COVID 19 shit and all that. Aid is apparently the reason why a lot of African governments are embracing the laws that they know that are defiling every context of being an African. Aid has caused a lot of dangers. Actually, we at times, we know that a lot of people are ending up committing things that they know are bad. They are committing crime on motherland. They are defiling, they are squeezing it, knowing that it is all wrong. But because they are promised something, they end up doing everything wrong. Recently, of course, we saw when the Ugandan government said that we are not agreeing to the homosexuality bill. We are not agreeing to that, and we are passing a law that all homosexuals in Uganda are going to be arrested and condemned or imprisoned. Of course, you saw how the United States of America came about the aid, that we are withdrawing the aid we have been giving to Uganda. We are withdrawing the aid, and actually, they came back and gave the aid back since they saw no one really cared about it. They knew they were the ones at a loss. So you can see the matrix. We are withdrawing the aid that we are giving to Uganda since the president of Uganda has refused to agree and, of course, allow homosexuality in Uganda, and it is so very harsh. the inhuman behavior, whatever they called it, the human rights and all that. And of course, the president of Ghana said it's okay, you can withdraw your aid, the American aid, we are fine, you can withdraw. America went ahead and said we are going to remove our embassy from Uganda, which of course is still there. They did not remove the embassy. And we saw them, as of course, we saw America closing the offices for something like 4 days, and they saw that no one was, of course, responding. They reopened the embassies. So you can see what aid does. It is used to threaten the African governments. And a lot of African leaders actually falling prey, and a lot of them are becoming puppets because of these particular things. You are promised money. Of course, Ruto is the best example of the aid. You see what is going on in Kenya and what he has done in Kenya after visiting the United States and being promised billions of money to be invested in Kenya and all that. But of course, these people at times they do this aid not for the benefit of the country, but for their own selfish gain. Because if at all you are looking at a smaller picture, then you don't need to be in power. Because a country needs people who have vision, future vision, who have a broader vision. Okay, we are not looking at what is Maria going to do right now that she's here, but what impact is she going to leave behind even if she decides to step down? I think that is something that like a lot of African leaders don't look at. And this is why you find that they are being tightened by the so-called foreign aid that is squeezing them to agree on the terms and conditions that actually, in actual sense, the terms and conditions that do not favor the African people. I don't know why we are so afraid of holding the bull by the horns and believing in ourselves that we can live on without this aid. After all, the aid still comes from us, which doesn't make sense to me. But of course, it has the aid system. The foreign aid system is apparently the reason why Africa is experiencing this whole tragedy and poor leadership, poor economy, and everything, because people are afraid to speak out, because people, other governments will withdraw their aid. Some, of course, aid comes in different forms. Others send it in a medical way. So we are sending medicines in form of aid. We are sending you money. We are sending you military assistance. We are sending you, technology and all that. So it is not only looked at as in terms of sums of money. So I think that a lot of people have been, their hands are tied towards the right decision making in fear of losing foreign aid. And a lot of European or Western countries use the same foreign aid to threaten Africans, to force them to agree to their terms and conditions, which still drives me back to what I say, that there is no Mzungu in Africa for Africa's interest. They're here for their own interest, but of course, we know how hypocritical they are. Well, we'll let Innocent to say something. Sankofa unazo say, ugira commuting a microphone yange. Kubandi wala
Wabazuku mukole mwenna. Is that an excuse? Okay. Although actually the continent um, is rich, the African continent is rich in natural resources, and and actually receives foreign aid from wealthy nations across the globe. The people of Africa remain poor compared to those in other regions and are far behind in achieving, of course, developmental goals as set by actually the United Nations. We see that those developmental goals range from having extreme poverty, from actually range from halving, of course, extreme poverty rates to halting the spread of HIV/AIDS, and of course, providing universal primary education, all by the target 2050. That is the United Nations. So this is a dire situation that indicates that the influx of foreign aid has not worked to improve the lives of African people suffering under poverty. So when we see that we see actually like foreign aid has not actually eliminated overall poverty in Africa. Believe me or not. Um, Over actually the past 60 years, at least 1 trillion of development related aid has been donated to by the rich, of course, countries to Africa. Over the last 60 years, however, the real per capita income today actually is lower than it was in the 1970s, actually, in the 1970s, in the 1960s. And the more than 50% of the population, over 350 million people, live on less than $1 a day in Africa, a figure that has nearly doubled in 2 decades. So, um, that actually clearly indicates that, of course, foreign aid in Africa has not worked. However much we have seen actually a lot of irrelevant aid. We have seen a lot of infrastructures. Yes, a country needs infrastructure to develop, actually, we need beautiful roads, we need well-constructed roads to transport our goods from villages to towns. But we have seen a lot of irrelevant infrastructure being constructed in the form of aid in African countries. And it has not attained any profit for African people. Rather, it has gained actually profits for these people. There are a lot of roads that have been constructed where they're not even necessary. Let me say that. They're not even necessary. Just I've seen a lot of roads. When you look at Africa, the entire Africa, let it be Congo, let it be Uganda, let it be Kenya, let it be Tanzania, all African countries, you will see that all those roads that link to mineral areas, they are constructed. They have no potholes. They are constructed so that these roads can actually transport mineral resources from mineral areas to where these people can take it actually outside Africa, the so-called whites. Because most of actually the loans, actually they have given Africans the loans, of which loans come here, they go, actually they get into hands of the corrupt leaders. Now the countries end up failing actually paying these loans. When the governments end up actually failing to pay these loans, now the security that remains, these are the resources. We have to pick on our resources so that we can pay this aid. I've looked at the countries. I've looked at almost all African countries. Actually, they get a loan from IMF to pay a loan in the World Bank. They get a loan to pay a loan. So if at all we get loans here in Africa to pay other loans, if at all we get loans from IMF to pay World Bank, when will people get out of poverty? When will industries here in Africa be constructed for people to get jobs? When will schools be constructed for people, for African children to get education? When will drugs be provided in hospitals. When are hospitals going to be constructed? If at all the loans we get from the same people, they are used to be paid. I normally actually hear about the budget, like we see the budget, they announce in the budget, yeah, we got like 1.4 trillion, and actually in the budget, but this trillion, however much it is a loan, we got it, but we are going to use it to pay the loan that we got from China. China constructed for us are actually two roads that are, of course, that are heading to the main capital. So we are trying to settle out China. When will Africa develop? When will people actually get out of poverty? For nearly 60 years, Africa has been getting foreign aid from these people. But when we look at the per capita income in Africa, is actually much lesser than the per capita income in the 1970s and the 1960s. So this actually comes, of course, makes this make me make a conclusion that foreign aid is actually made to make Africans poor instead. It's rather made to make African countries poor. It's made to make African countries not to achieve anything, rather to still be dependent from these countries, from these, of course, Bazungu countries, because we have not achieved anything at the end of it. Whether we have just got instabilities here, corruption has just has increased, has just be actually increased in Africa, depending on these people. And it has created a mindset of dependency in Africa, because people don't even think about that we can develop our communities. As we Africans, we can develop our communities. People think about getting aid from outside. People think about getting aid from UNAIDS, getting aids from German foreign aid. So people like getting. By the way, there are a lot of there are a lot of actually guys I studied with, and they were supported. Their education was supported by the Germans, but 70% of these actually these guys I studied with in secondary, in high school, they are now in Germany. They went to Germany because first of all they were being told to learn German language. I guess maybe to create for them employment opportunities outside Africa, or to be collaborators, to be a linkage to to be a link to be a link to these Germans. But they are now outside Africa. They went to Germany. Most of them they went to Germany when sometime back they processed for them everything and went to Germany because they were learning German language. Though actually I remember there is a certain boy when I was studying. Bana yo mwana oyo ulimugezi, the guy was clever. Actually, we all thought, African people have a mindset that science is there for clever students. For clever students. So the other guy was clever, and everyone thought that he's going to do sciences in A level, like that this guy is going to do sciences. Ochimanyo mwana ya ending up akose German. In A level, the guy ended up doing German language. He went at the university, he did the German language, like, because when the guy is German, is in German, but this is the influence actually foreign aid has made in African, in people's mind. It has made us blind about things that we can do. People don't think about community development. They think about those huge loans, those huge foreign stuff to get. As a country, at the country level, at the government level, Maria talked about the conditions, like pushing the LGBTQ rights because of the foreign aid. We once saw UNAID actually it wanted to stop giving, of course, Uganda medications for HIV due to actually Uganda, due to the bill that was made a law. about the LGBTQ, making actually homosexuality here in Uganda illegal. So that was a clear indicator that this aid doesn't come for free. The aid we get here, it is exchanged into the resources that we have here. Resources, a lot of African countries we have seen a lot of Chinese in most of the African countries. These Chinese actually they are there because they want to be paid back their money. They want to be paid back in the form of money, in the form of resources, in the form of the wetlands where they are constructing industries. General Mosquito is right here in the building from YouTube, says, Good afternoon, Setu. Good afternoon, General Mosquito. How are you doing, General Mosquito? By the way, General Mosquito, you promised me a phone. You and GB Jabba towards Christmas. You promised me a phone so that I should leave this analog stuff. So, General Mosquito, you have a task for me. You promised me a phone towards Christmas. You said, you're going to enjoy Christmas with a smartphone. We are going to do something. So I'm waiting for you, General Mosquito. Christmas is near. Just 4 months from now. They're just 4 months from now to Christmas, General Mosquito. But let me hope, General, you're doing good. And what is time there, by the way? Maria Jolie. Maria, are you there?
I'm here.
You get that, oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
General
We know
Mosquito.
that.
Let's see that. Let's see what Jesus will do.
That's what Jesus will. Yeah, but of course, we know that.
Badde mu luseke lwa ssimu.
Mm, I heard you nkuwulidde. We know that this aid, the aid Africa's, of course, Africans hoping for aid like they usually do, has created a prolonged reliance and dependency, where a lot of African countries are less motivated to develop sustainable economic practices and local industries. You see, we have, of course,
Okay, Jeno. Said, please leave me alone. I'm trying to be on my best behavior. I thought you were. Jeno Mosquito. So, Jeno Mosquito, we are talking about dangers of foreign aid in Africa. So, what is your say about the foreign aid actually African countries have been getting actually since African countries got independence? So,
sure,
what is your take on this, General Mosquito? Is that okay?
Akuwisizame gari.
And agimwisizza.
General Masuda, you should have asked that person that already know that Africans have big lips. Who is that one who thought that? And who report that person to me? Oh, the my God. I take care of
oba bannaabeeri
I don't know. So, like I was saying, that this aid at
abakalandiye
times have affected, have affected, they have affected us. Um, I'm gonna give you. They have affected the local industries, and also, they have, of course, um, they have affected the local industries, and also are not allowed Africans to grow economically. I'm gonna give you an example. Um, when COVID-19 struck, we saw a lot of, by the way, we saw some strength in different African countries, where a lot of African countries decided to come up with a solution to this. A lot of people started manufacturing herbals, a lot of people started manufacturing medicines. It is the time that we saw that we have Africans can do something, because first of all, many people didn't know what to do about it. A lot of people didn't know the scam that came with it. So people were on tension. People were on tension. And at that time, of course, all over the news, we would see people dying in Italy, people dying where and elsewhere. So Africa was like, now this time around, who's going to give us aid? Who's going to help us when people are dying the other side where we get, medicines from? Who is going to help us this time? The people who give us aid are also being affected. So during that time, we saw a lot of African countries. For actually, I don't know whether it is for the first time, because I don't know, but I for my first time basically, I saw a lot of people responding to this. A lot of African pharmaceutical companies responding to this with immediate effect. Unfortunately, the World Health Organization, of course, had to put sanctions on their products. But we saw a lot of African countries coming up with herbs, medicines that them trying to overcome this whole COVID-19 symptoms and everything. But of course, the World Health Organization had to put an end to this, and of course, sanctions that did not make it possible for the African pharmaceuticals to, of course, sell these drugs that they had manufactured within a shortest time. Now you can see they knew no one is going to give them aid at that time, because everyone was crying. We saw the Europeans also crying, because this incident affected them tremendously. We saw the people in China, we saw people in India, we saw America, we saw Italy, Germany, and elsewhere. So Africa knew no one is coming for you, so it is high time you do this for yourself. And yes, they did, but of course, World Health Organization, if it was not for World Health Organization to stop this, we would see probably huge progress. Now this is a sign that if at all Africa is left to handle its shit, it will definitely do. Okay, Maria said to you demand and take independence. Unfortunately, Africa's independence was given. True. It wasn't even given. It is a scam still. We don't have it. When you give people have what you give them. But they didn't give us no share. We don't have it. General Mosquito. So, if at all we are given, I think even this aid bullshit, this foreign aid game is still to keep us there. All right. To keep us not thinking. All right. They know, okay, if we manufacture, or if we produce the cholera virus, definitely we are going to come in form of aid, and then we give vaccines in Uganda and Congo, because they don't know this virus of cholera, or this whatever bacteria and viruses they manufacture. So if we give them this, and then give them the antidotes or the vaccines that are fighting the same ailments that we are sending over there, then we are going to give them a condition under which we are giving them this vaccines, or we are giving them this aid now. That is in form of medicine. Of course, aid comes in different forms. And of course, a lot of African leaders with the trembling and all that. This is what Magufuli had refused. Is I don't need your aid. You cannot give me aid in form of vaccine of something you have made. I'm gonna try and work a way around these whole things. This was Magufuli, and I guess, yeah, we all know how he ended. And a lot of people be like, all right, so since you're going to give us the vaccines, to help us save the lives of our people, and along this cause, the Bazungus will say, we want to have that oil well the other side as we give you that aid, of course. So the entire world is out here celebrating. Oh, yes, we have got aid. We have got aid in form of a vaccination or in form of vaccines that are going to help us. And they don't know behind that aid, their oil wells are being given out. And these are the deals that their leaders are signing behind the cameras, behind the curtains. And so for me, I feel like the foreign aid is a scam totally, because if you're giving out aid, you don't need to add other requests on top of this. If it is aid, it is aid. Why should you come with other demands that are escorting your aid? Why should you want me to give you something in return of this aid? So the word aid loses its meaning if at all you are requesting something in return. And a lot of people don't really know that these are the things at times that have kept these old leaders into power for a long time, because there are some agreements they have signed with other people, and other people know the moment they step down, they are at a loss. So they make sure that they secure these people's positions not until the contracts they have made with them actually are fulfilled. I'm seeing Mr. Blackwood Fire Network. You're welcome on our live, Keith.
How you doing, Maria? How you doing, Seto?
We good.
Good.
I was telling Seto's story earlier, his popcorn story earlier. And they couldn't believe it. I said Seto got away. They tried to molest him. He got away. They said what? They was mad. Yeah, jumping there was mad. And what? I said it's funny. It's a funny story. Seto made it. It ain't funny. These people are disgusting. I said, well, Seto made it funny. He told it funny. I'll let Seto one day tell you guys popcorn story. Because they found out that Mr. Beast that was in Kenya, his whole staff was caught up in pedophilia. So remember, Mr. Beast came to Kenya, was drilling wells. I think he came to Uganda too. I know he came to Kenya and Zimbabwe. I don't know if he came to Uganda or not. I said, his whole staff was caught up in pedophilia. So you think you don't think he was raping them little kids? He had them all lined up, little African kids in Kenya and Zimbabwe. So the whole staff was caught up in pedophilia. So I just said, Seto got. So I said, Seto got away. They almost got Seto. They were like, what? For real? I said, yeah, they almost got Seto with popcorn. They said, popcorn? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Keith? I said, Seto's story. It's funny. Seto told us. I don't think they got all mad at me. I don't think that's funny. I don't think that's funny. I said the way Seto told the story, it's funny. I don't think it's funny. I said, they got mad at me because I said it was funny. I'm not laughing at Seto the way Seto told the story. Seto tells good stories, like the time he was doing alcohol, liquor, and the time the popcorn, the stories be funny. So, and they got mad at me because I laughed at it. I don't think that's funny. That's disgusting. Glad he got away. White people are disgusting. I said, Seto figured out with the popcorn. So they got mad at me laughing. I said, shit. They said they told it was funny. Shit. Anyway, you guys go ahead. What you guys talking about? Aid in Africa or something?
We have been talking about actually dangers of foreign aid in Africa, and how foreign
Okay.
aid actually is one actually of the tools actually these people are putting in people's minds to make actually people actually slaves for their entire lives in Africa.
Of course.
That is what we have been talking about here with Maria.
Yeah, it's never aid. They don't give aid. If I'm still settle. Okay. If I'm still in okay, so if I'm still in $20 from you, right? I'm stealing $20 from you, and I come back and give you $2 in aid. I say, I'm helping you, said I'm giving you $2 in aid. But I'm actually stealing $20 from you. Is it really aid? No, it's a scam. Africa never needs any aid. I'm stealing trillions of dollars from you every year, trillions. I give you back I'll give you back like $10 million. Here you go, you dirty nigga. Here goes this aid. But I just stole $1 trillion from you. So aid in Africa's always been a scam, Seto. It never was to assist any African country because I've been stealing all your money, all your wealth. You know, um, sadly, I don't like to. I should send this to. I had to send this to Maria and let Maria share this. There's an image of how Kampala look. I hate to say under Europeans and what it looks like now. Now that Museveni's had control of Uganda for 40 years, it's all fucked up. It's worse than it was in 1960. 1960, Kampala was pretty modern, pretty modern city. Looks different. That's almost 70 years ago, 60 years ago, 60 plus years ago. And they were showing how when you give country back to one of the despots, how the country just goes and completely shit. I think it was a little better right after Idi Amin got it too. But there's an image. Let me share this. Let me share this video with Maria. Maybe she can share it on her computer. I know she's on the phone. She might be on the phone. I don't know if she can share it. I'll send it to you at least. But there's a video. It's sad. It shows Kampala back in 1960 and what it is today. 65, 60 years later, you're like, what? So, uh, so Africa, like, and it's funny, when the Europeans ran Africa, they wasn't giving no aid to Africa because they controlled all of it. They were stealing everything out of it. So Africa didn't get any aid when the white man controlled all of it. They wasn't getting any aid. Africa wasn't getting aid. It's all of a sudden now when Africans got control of Africa, well, they really don't. They're giving this fake aid. They're giving this fake aid. If I can find this damn video. I can if I can find it. Find it. Let's see. But it shows you what they do to Africans. They 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 put the country in a state of arrested development because Kampala looked better 70 years ago than it does today. When you wasn't getting aid, you didn't get no aid back then from the Europeans because they had complete control of it, and you didn't get any aid. I I didn't even say this shit. I found it funny. And it was the Ugandans that put it up. It was hilarious from Uganda. And this is what Kampala looked like in 1960 and what it looks like now. You're like, God damn, that's Kampala? Back in 1960? It don't look like that today. It don't look like that today. So way before you was getting aid, the cities will look more advanced than they do now. no, I got it. Is Maria still there? Maria still there? Let me send it to Maria. I can't send it to you. Send it. You there, Maria? 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 Maria, are you there? I'm gonna send this video to you just in case. Maria? Maria, you there? Maybe her internet went out. And share this video. I think we lost Maria Seto out in the village.
Yeah, it's lost. She's froze.
Was there? I don't know what happened to her. I can't send it to you because they blocked your phone. Were you able to get another line yet, Seto? They give you another line yet? Not yet, huh? Can you hear me, Seto?
Yeah, I can hear you, Keith.
Have you been able to get another phone line, Seto? Or not yet?
I've not got a phone yet, Keith.
Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to ask. Yes, I said that. I said to the damn Maria. You know, that's how Africa is better 70 years ago in Kampala than it is today. Fucking crazy. Yeah, Jim, excuse they got his phone. Sorry guys, I'm eating this pizza. They took his phone away, Jim Mosquito, because he had it registered under his mother's name. they want they, they want Seto's name on there. They said, no, this ain't you. They told Seto, you ain't your mother. So they took away his phone. His phone line anyway.
Go see this.
Are you back? Yeah, Maria?
I'm
We
back.
thought we thought we thought the terrorists. Are you on the phone, Maria, or are you on the computer? You on your phone or
I'm
are you
on
on
a
the computer?
I'm on a computer.
Hey, check your phone. I sent you a video. See if you can share it if you can. I don't know. You might not be able to. In it, but
Oh,
I sent you a video,
okay.
small one. See if you can share
Like
it.
I
It's showing Kampala when the white
okay.
man had control. When the white man had control of Uganda, you didn't need no aid. It looked 10 times better. He didn't need any aid. But now that black people got control, you need aid. And Uganda's 10 times worse than it was back then. And that's what it's showing you. The Ugandans were putting it up. Thank you, Miss 70. when white people controlled it. We didn't need any aid.
Usindikidde akantu ako.
I think my
Mulinkitiina.
camera.
All right. Ukarabi.
Mm.
I think my screen is black. I don't see Central anymore.
General Mosquito, stop.
What'd he say? What'd he say, Maria?
He's saying that, Maria, it has to be sent to you because Setu's phone too old to receive videos.
They just set their phone. Central would use his mother. There you go. That's a different video. They got that's a different video there. That's showing Rwanda and Uganda. One it was just showing Kigali, Kampala back in 1960 and Kampala today. I don't know why I'm showing you that one. Yeah, that's one we laughing at. But that's not the video. Yes, you got it. That's
the one you shared.
That's not the one. But I don't know why I'm sharing that one. No, that's not the one I sent. The one I sent. The one I sent it's showing Kampala from 2024 and Kampala from 1960.
It is not that has that person who is laughing. It is a short.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is very short. It has just played with the one in shared.
Yeah, it's short.
It is the one. Damo kazanyi.
That's very short. I can't find. Yeah, it was just the guy showing. It might be one. It'll say Kampala 2024 and Kampala today.
That one. That's funding.
Now that's not it. It's almost close. It says Kampala 1960 and Kampala 2024. It was showing how bad Kampala has got since 1960. Hello. It's a Uganda guy showing you how Kampala under Museveni has gone backwards. Hello. I guess he does that on every video. Put that boy. Hello. Keep going back. One's gonna say, hello. One's gonna say, hello. One says 1960. 1960 Kampala, and,
Hello.
and 19 and 2024. He does the same thing. He said, hello. Starts laughing.
Hello.
How, how Uganda has gone backwards under Museveni.
Hello.
Oh, okay. Your
You look,
phrases.
you look at 1960 Uganda. God damn, it was beautiful. You look at 1960 Kampala. You're like, damn, that's Kampala. He says that same thing. Hello, and starts laughing. It says Kampala 1960. And it says Kampala 2024. Then he says hello, starts laughing. Oh, you better you gonna sit down. I'm like, damn. I'm like, the 70 has fucked that country up. I was looking at Kampala, got the 1960, but I said, my God, Kampala's absolutely beautiful and modern than what it is today. 70 years later, he says, hello, starts laughing. I said, damn, the 70 has fucked that country up. It's crazy. I was like, look how modern Kampala was back in 1960. Wow, it's fucking amazing. He said, and so 2024, and he goes, hello. And I don't think most Ugandans realize how fucked up the country has gone back under the 70s. Because most Ugandans were born were alive in 1960. Uganda's a young nation. They don't know how great Uganda used to look. It's crazy.
True.
I was like, damn, look at Uganda, look at Kampala. That's 1960? And the guy said, hello. He shows 1924. He said, look at that shit now that these niggas got control of it. God damn. Like, it's like night and day, guys. Sorry to say, it's like night and day. I was like, wow. Kampala looked awesome back in 1960. They look nice as shit. I'm not gonna tell no lie. I didn't know that was even Africa. I like, that's some South Africa looking shit right there. Damn. That shit nice. That guy said, hello. I'm laughing. This shows Kampala 2024. Like, damn. Shit, this the same city? God damn.
True.
God damn, a seven.
And like we are saying before, most of these things people develop where they want to harvest money from, and that's it. It's let me if we look at the infrastructure system, really, Uganda had better buildings than the one it has now.
Yeah, you guys had great. Yeah, you guys are
That's
pretty
right.
modern. Crazy.
And the city was very organized, and
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. You're right, but I'm like, what the fuck? Wow. You Ugandans are. You get no aid in. Ugandans lost so much under this for 70. You guys have got no clue. I'm like, this is Uganda? Damn. Like, what happened? God damn. The niggas got control of it. That's what happened. God damn. The white man wasn't gonna live in no shit. That shit was looking nice. God damn. White man wasn't gonna live in Uganda all fucked up. I know it was like Maria said, it was highly organized. I was like, damn, this Kampala? 19, wow. That shit look nice as shit. And they showed 2024, like, wow, what happened? In the 70s, these other niggas got control. That's what happened. And didn't have any. Yeah, that's what foreign aid gets you. Exactly, Rena. That's what foreign aid gets you. Destruction. Exactly right. Foreign aid gets you destruction. Because at that time, that's why I wanted to have Maria show that video. They wasn't getting foreign aid because they was completely under British rule. Everything was modern. It was all organized. They weren't getting no aid then. Now they get aid and everything's all devastated and fucked up. Get out of here. That's on purpose. Kampala was as modern as I'm like, God damn, that's Kampala? Shit. Beautiful. Back in 1960. Don't look nothing like it does today. Nothing. Because the white man don't got complete control. Okay, we just gonna take the resource out of here that these niggas run these cities into the ground. Is that it? I think that might be it. Is that it? Yeah, that's it right there. That's it, Maria. That's it. Look at that down there. Look how organized that is. And look, the white man, organized like shit. Look at that. We laughing. And see what it looks like. That's it. That looks like in 2024. That's it. That was the one. That was the one right there, Maria. That was it. So you notice these African leaders have destroyed the country. That was Kampala. That's just a picture from 1960. Organized, beautiful, well organized. That was 70 years ago. So imagine if you had real leadership, what Kampala would be today. What Uganda would be today. So it's devolved with these puppets up in there. That's not like that's 1960. I wasn't even born. That shit look good as hell. God damn. Because that would be a modern city in 1960. That looked like as modern as any other city on the planet back in 1960. So what happened? Oh, these Africans got control of it. That's what the fuck happened.
I guess overpopulation also happened. The places got very crowded.
What'd you say, Maria?
Shit happened. Shit happened.
They are despicable, really. These really are despicable. You say they despicable. That's the best word. That's what I call it. They're despicable. You're exactly right. That's the better word. These African leaders are despicable. They steal the money and they talk about they need some aid. Well, Kampala wasn't getting aid then. Why it looked so good in 1960? There was no aid going to no fucking Kampala. Because it wasn't called Uganda yet. It wasn't even.
So they tried to colonize the INNOSSETU. At that time, we had a lot of Bazungus.
Hello. 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 Look at that. Kampala's well organized modern city back there. Look at that shit. Hello. That's 1960. I can tell it's true because see the cars. The cars are 1960 cars. So that's a true picture. It's not made up. You say, what the fuck happened? 1960 to 2024. And Rita talking about these despicable fucking despotic backward ass niggas happen. Kept Africa in a state of arrested development. Not underdeveloped, arrested development. If that city back in 1960 was allowed to reach its full potential, it was like fucking New York or any Chinese city today. Go ahead, Maria.
I think that one is Ginger Road. INNOSSETU. See Ginger Road, yeah, yo. That is one over all the Kampala. I'm just trying to see the street now. Wabulabika naawe butini nnyo. Bweba tewabulaba. I think that that is Ginger Road. That
Okay.
street, that road that heads to Ginger, it's the middle of Kampala. I was trying to look at the picture clearly.
Can you still tell what today what if that's the
Yeah,
road? Can you tell?
I can see
Okay.
the buildings.
Okay.
Some of these buildings are there, by the way.
That, those buildings
Except
still
that
there?
now I see
70
it is
years ago?
because it's kind of crowded now. But I was trying to look at
Yeah,
the images.
let's
How it's
organize. Yeah. Crowded. Let's organize. And it was then. I thought them
it's
buildings
very
would be
well.
70 years ago. 65 and 70 years ago. Those buildings are still there?
Mm, they're still there.
Okay. Does it look
The
like
beauty.
I know it don't look like that no more.
I was still trying to look. I'm still trying to look.
Wow. That's what you call what they did as arrested development. Put African people on aid. They let these morons come in who don't know how to run cities, have no experience running anything but their fucking mouth. These leaders are stupid, backwards, idiotic. Don't know how to run these. You think Semi knows how to run a city? Yeah, he knows how to run it into the ground. He knows how to run a country? Yeah, run it into the ground because he's an idiot. He's a moron on purpose. Think away. See, that's 70 years ago. You imagine you had a competent leader in Uganda, what Uganda would look like today? You actually had a real competent African running the place? Shit, that shit would be Wakanda for real. Shit crazy. Shit look worse off today than you had 70 fucking years ago. Crazy as hell. Can't make that shit up. I know what a modern city looks like in 1960. In Kampala, that's a modern city. Not today. That's why they Uganda guys laughing. That's a fact. What? What? That's a modern city in 1960. Organized, clean. And that's what they always these African leaders don't know how to run those. So we should go back and invade their ass. Not telling people that these are the despots. They put this so the cities in the country don't run right. Got these Europeans. So we should just go back and invade Africa. They don't know how to run no governments, no countries. Look how fucked up they are since we let them get independence. First of all, you didn't let them get shit. They took the independence, or fake independence. He let these Africans get independence. How crazy is that shit? Fuck, we need to go back and invade their ass. They don't know how to run shit anyway. That's what they're openly saying. Africans too backward and stupid. They don't know how to run anything. Let's go back in and just colonize it again. Take it back over. About the leaders are all corrupt. You made them corrupt. You put them in power. Talking about the leaders in Africa all corrupt as if they're not the ones who put them in power and kept them there. Now I know Maria want to believe Museveni won these elections for 50 years. I don't believe that shit. Same way that guy told me, yeah, Paul Bear's been winning elections. You out your mind. Nobody been vote for no Paul Bear. He don't even live in Africa. Paul Bear in Cameroon, he lives in France or fucking where. So they don't give a shit about no damn democracy. How's the leader of an African
And
country not even living in the country? Go Maria, what'd you say?
I'm not saying anything.
Oh,
I'm not going to say anything about that again.
I understand people ignorant. I don't believe nobody this fucking 70 to run no damn election, no 40 years. Paul Beer, 50 years. The other moron, that Equatorial Guinea, 50 years. Get out of here.
Okay.
Well,
Um,
actually, I've shared that photo, Keith. I guess you can see
yeah.
that photo. That place is called Katonga. It is a bridge. Actually, there is a river down that is called Katonga. Now, this other part, that is the part actually they extended the road to this side where you see like rain came and took away this part here. Now this
Yeah.
side where you see this policeman here, it was constructed by Idi Amin Dada, by Idi Amin, this side.
Yeah.
But when rain came, they took this part here that was constructed recently by the Chinese under Museveni's government. Yet this part has been actually this part is older than this one here, which was taken by
Wow.
the rain.
Wow. So the older structure is standing and the new one got taken by the rain. Is that what you're saying, Seto?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The new
Wow.
construction
God
was
damn.
taken by rain here. This hole you see here. Then this other part where you're seeing these motors, this truck and these two men, the policeman and the other man, it was constructed by Idi Amin. Now the new constructions under the Chinese in Museveni's government were taken by the rains here.
Yeah, so you're getting cheap Chinese construction, as they call it, Chinese made, all fucked up, paying more money, and Museveni dumbass not using Ugandans to fix it and build it like Idi Amin did. You lose these Chinese people who's fixing you fucked up roads for all this money because Museveni is an idiot. He's not there to run the country because he's a moron. Paying for overpaid roads that don't even fucking work right. Shit get washed away in floods and shit and rain. And then they say, well, we did the best we can, Museveni. I know you Chinese kids, you're my friend, and you're smarter than black people. Because Museveni worship everything that's not black. This ignorant ass nigga. I'm glad I brought the Asians back to Uganda and make sure they're over black people. That's what I do because I'm a dumbass. That's what I do. I believe Asian people, the East Indians are supposed to be over black people in a black country. Damn, we're going to get these goddamn leaders out of Africa. They'll destroy the whole continent. And I tell people, you think it's the worst? Africa's got the worst leaders. I'm a 70, a bear. All these leaders couldn't even be ahead of a damn shoe store, let alone a country. These morons, they never managed nothing else in their fucking life. And now they're presidents of whole countries. When have they ever managed anything? Oh, nothing. Show me Museveni's management skills before they put his ass as president or Kagame. You can't. They never managed shit. They never built shit, never done shit, never invented shit. And the countries that they have now got control of have been put in a world of shit. Got a road getting washed out older than the Idi Amin Dada. Hell, Idi Amin had been in power for fucking damn near 45 years. His road is still up. And your new shit, because you're an idiot, gets washed away with the rain. You couldn't know. They can tell your stupid ass anything because they know you're an idiot. They'll just come inflate your fucked up ass ego. Look at this. Yeah, they always got to call these dumbass niggas his excellency. Excellency Mississippi. Look what the roads we built. You don't know how to inspect this shit. Oh, it looks good. It looks good. Then Chinese are laughing. Yeah, this dumbass nigga don't know no construction. You don't got no damn. You don't roll by this moron.
So that is the small video when water was taking away the
Jibaddemu atagomba bimu bamusiba busibi rugudo rumaze ne rugwamu rumaze ne rugwamu rumaze ne rubomoka kumitayimbwa jiguddemu jibaddemu atagomba bimu bamusiba busibi rumaze ne rugwamu rumaze ne rubomoka kumitayimbwa
What's this, Seto? We don't speak the language, Seto. You gotta translate that shit.
So those guys were trying to actually to say that the road has sunk in. It has been taken by water.
Okay.
That is the bridge actually, we have been illustrating in the other photo. It is the same bridge when it was taken by rains last year, and even up to today, it has not been constructed. That one. It has not been constructed yet since last year when the rains took away actually part of that bridge. It has not been constructed yet. It was constructed by the Chinese expensively. For them, the Chinese, their work is to make profits out of the government of Uganda. They have nothing to say. They have nothing to do. In the same river where this actually road is, the same Chinese, they mine sand from the same river. There is that sand that is used to make glasses. They mine that sand from that river, so they get double profits from the river. Are you there?
What did they get from the river, Seto?
Sorry?
I said, what did you say they get from the river?
The Chinese, they mine sand from the river. There is that sand that is used to make glasses.
Wow, how nice. Chinese get to do all the shit they want to do. Shout out to you, Mississippi, you moron. Seventy's new name is His Excellency the Moron.
Actually, that sand is called silica sand, which they mine from River Katonga, making sand. So a lot of people actually, when you look at most of the elders in Uganda, they will be like, at least things were okay before. During our time, things used to be okay. At least when we were growing up, things used to be okay. But now things are now in reverse. Things are now in reverse. in reverse and reverse
Yeah,
nowadays. You look at
yeah.
commodity, different commodities over time. Most of them have deteriorated, they have disappeared on the market. When you look at food, food has changed. When you look at the city, actually, even in Kampala, there are certain parts in Kampala where you find no black people. When there are Bazungus within those areas in Kampala, the
Wow.
areas that the Bazungus in Kampala. This is not South
Just,
Africa.
just
Area.
like Kenya, just like Kenya. But I bet the Bazungu areas are nice, aren't they? Aren't they, Seto? The areas are nice, aren't they? I bet they're not living in the slums, are they? Just like Kenya, like everywhere they go.
So the areas that are known for Bazungus, if you go there, you find white people only in those areas. So that is how. And when you look at actually most of actually the main reason actually why Kampala is changing day and night is like it's like Kampala is sold. They sell Kampala every night. They make deals to sell Kampala. When you look
Yeah.
at most of the buildings in Kampala, they are sold up, and these people they sell buildings too. They end up removing everything that was foreign. They remove it and construct new things. But most of the government buildings we have here, they are old buildings of from Idi Amin timers and come. When you look at the police stations, most of the police stations, they still have a touch of Idi Amin. When you look at most of the roads that head to main hospitals, referral hospitals, because the main referral hospitals that we have today have not been
Man,
built.
I think you talk about hospital, man. The more it showed me, Kampala's General Hospital broke my heart. I was like, my God, this is you. The 70s should have been overthrown just for that hospital right there.
Naawe oli mu kwekuba amasasi ng'Abannakenya bwe bagakuba.
I seen you guys General Hospital broke my heart. I was like, what? That's a hospital?
Anti owulira babimuyisaayisaamu dda.
I was like, oh my God, this is fucking crazy. This is fucking crazy. This is a fucking hospital. You wonder why the damn, why the, like I told Joe, but the damn, when the white man came, the Africans' average age is 150 years to 200 years. Now Africans' average age is, because I told Joe, but look up what the average age in Kenya. I bet it can't be no more than 65. See, look, he says 61. Keith, I don't believe this. This is Google. That's not Google. Google is giving send you to find the information, Joby. Your birth rates, I mean your life expectancy rates have been cut down because you've been put in filthy ass conditions by the Europeans. These damn hospitals, these damn you not know shit where Africans were impoverished and living all fucked up. When the Europeans showed up, look at this hospital that they showed me in fucking Kampala. Are you crazy? And this motherfucking moronic ass Museveni's not ashamed. None of these despots in Africa are ashamed of these hospitals. You can't even call them hospitals in goddamn Africa. These fucking places of fucking misery. That's why they always fly out the country to get their health care. These wicked ass niggas. These hospitals are fucking insane. Can't call that raggedy shit no hospital. Oh, we got Maria saying, oh, we lost Sento. I lost Maria too. Uh-oh. Oh, excuse me, guys. Oh, see if anybody comes back, guys. My voice, yeah, that's when my voice always goes out. Damn voice. Then I ain't got no damn voice on the weekend to do my damn shows. I gotta start coming to everybody's damn show. I ain't got no voice on the weekend to do my own damn thing. Shit. Always sounding like my voice is fucked up. It's getting messed up right now. Sheesh. Oh, damn, that's great. I gotta do a show later with Joby too. Shit. We're waiting to see if anybody shows back up, guys. It's me, Las Maria, and Seta. See if anybody shows back up at all. I don't know, guys. That may be the end of this show. I don't think they're gonna show back up. Yeah. Like the internet went down in Uganda. So I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Save my voice for this afternoon, a couple more hours. Shit, 2 more hours. Shit, we going live with Joby. So I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Let's love everybody. Have a good day. See everybody later on the Africa Today show on the other channel on the Black Eye Fire Black Eye Fire Network channel, the regular one. Not this one. So I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. Peace. I'm out. Me and my bad voice. I'm out.